things I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. So during the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts. But they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. So roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. And I have my doubts. So I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Another long day of trying to figure out where the hell is this going to go. That's the name of the game. Where the hell is this going to go? No, I actually got quite a bit of progress done today. Quite a bit. So, probably maybe a couple of more days of poking, stacking, stuffing, and it will resemble a home. So, man, it is, this is good though, because this is allowing me to reorganize everything and get everything back in check. And, so that's a good thing. And there are different things, like even along the lines of prepping, for instance, there are different things that we like got what we could, and then later on got better. And some of those items really aren't really worth ain't much. I mean, might as well just, it's taking up space. Not, a lot of the stuff isn't really something that would be even worth passing on to anybody, They were just different things that we kept around for, I like to use the word support. When I say that, let me give you an example. It's good to have a little bit of material, right? In fact, that was one of the reasons why I got the sewing machine 2-3 years ago. I guess 3 years ago at least. That was one of the reasons why I got it, was so that I could repair clothing or whatever the case may be. Not a huge deal, and the sewing machine I got's not anything spectacular or nothing, but it still gave me the basic capabilities of being able to like repair clothing or make clothing or whatever I may need to do. That would take a sewing machine. So there are different things like that we had hung on to. For instance, I'm trying to give you examples. That would be that spare material, that scrap material or whatever that you would use for patches or what have you. And so, along the lines, we came across new, better stuff that we can't or don't wear, that is going to be used for that type of material. This stuff is important to have at least a tad of it around, because the balloon goes up. You can't just go to Wally World and go get yourself a new set of a new pair of jeans. You can't go to Amazon and get yourself a new pair of jeans. You can't. You have to repair what you have. So in order to do that, you have to have the equipment and you have to have the materials. And guess what? There's no Walmart, there's no Amazon to go get the equipment or the materials. So you better damn well have it ahead of time. That's called prepping. So, and it's important to look at these areas. And there are so many things that I actually wished I had that I don't, that even involve that type of stuff. There's a tool, I can't remember the name of it. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. But it's essentially, it will let you stitch from like one side. In other words, you could put a hole through something and stick this through. It's just, I'm trying to think. It's like a hook, right? And you stick it through, and it's the way you wrap the your. I think they use it a lot on leather. The way you wrap your leather around it or whatever and pull it through, you're actually threading is what it's doing. Well, here's the thing, and I know that's popular to use those on like canvas and stuff too, I believe. Well, here's the thing, you can also use it to repair the soles of shoes. Handy little tool to have. I can't remember the name of that tool offhand, but it's a handy tool to have. I don't have one. It is one of the things that I do wish I had. But those type of items are going to be important. So, anyway, just, I don't know, got off on that little tangent. But make sure you do that. Make sure you've got tools to be able to repair. Because you're not going to be able to replace in a lot of cases. So you're going to have to repair. And like I say, in order to do that, you've got to have the tools and you've got to have the materials to be able to make the repair. Or be able to get the materials. So important stuff. News today was not good. I mean, every direction, once again, and this acceleration I'm seeing, starting to get a little bit concerned about a possible false flag with Iran, with some of the pitter-patter going back and forth today. between the U.S. and Iran. And certainly, under the circumstances, I should say under all the circumstances, as you know, I've been kind of expecting it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, the 21st is not that far away. You know, just under a month. And anything's game. Anything's game. That's why it's paramount that you're ready now. That you're as ready as you can get now. You know, I mean, if you're sitting there and there's a ton of stuff that you need that you don't have, doesn't matter. Take what you've got. Get ready. You know, no matter how much or how little you have, make sure that you are putting your plans or getting your plans ready to put into motion. Because, man, I'm telling you, the sky's the limit when it comes to what we're facing. It really is. Hey, I hope everything just blows over, but I don't see that. I don't see that. And I don't see us any less likely going to war because Biden's in office, because Biden's a war hawk. So that ain't going to change. Man. So, and then, like, we've got the ever deepening financial crisis going on. There's rumblings of new strains again of COVID-19. I heard something from one source today, so I'm not going to repeat it, about something about the new strains, because, I heard it from one, and I say source, one YouTube video, and, yeah, I'm not going to put any stock into that right now, but apparently there is a new strain in South America. I have no idea any more detail than that. New strain, I believe, in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. And there are a lot of places that are actually banning travelers from the UK right now because of that new strain. The numbers were pretty high for the last 24 hours. Earlier, the COVID numbers for the nation, fatal for the last 24 hours, was inching up to 6,000. And it has since dropped. But it was inching up to 6,000. Not quite, but just about there. So we'll see what shakes out tomorrow when it comes out on the graph and they give the report. So it's it is what it is. I'm kind of confused by a lot of it at this point. I really am. It's I would have thought, here's the thing. Okay, so we're seeing this increase in deaths. We're seeing this jump in deaths. But don't you think that we should see, follow me here, okay, what is it? Less than 1% of the people that get it. I'm not playing with statistics or anything like that. Don't think I'm going there. I'm not going there, okay? But like what? Less than 1% or what? Whatever. Let's say 3%, okay? So even if 3% of the people that got COVID-19 died of it, then wouldn't you say that the amount of people that contracted it, the new cases, shouldn't they be absolutely skyrocketed through the roof? And I'm giving it 3%, which we know it's not. Think about that. So when we come over, And we look at this and we say, and I'm going to go ahead and show you here, and we say, oh, okay, well, the last 24 hours, right? The last 24 hours, there was 3,047. Okay? Wouldn't you think that when you come here to new cases and you see that substantial rise in fatal cases, don't you think you should see like a way bigger rise in new cases? I don't know. It could be me. I mean, we are talking about a insanely large amount of difference in the numbers there to begin with. So it could just be me, but I think that graph should be much steeper for the new cases. Like roughly a week to 2 weeks before the fatal cases, right? Because I believe that's about the time frame. A week to 2 weeks is common when people pass from it, if I'm not mistaken. So, don't know. Just like I've said all along, you have to do you in this. If you're not worried about it, then you do you. If you are worried about it, then take the proper precautions. But take the proper precautions. That means if you're worried about contracting it, don't go to the Walmarts with a cloth mask. Okay? N95 at the very, very least. Okay? Because that's the way it works. A cloth mask is not necessarily going to help you. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's not that it's 100% ineffective. It's just not nearly 100% effective. Okay? Not even nearly. However, something like an N95, that, and while not 100% effective, it is effective enough that you should be able to feel confident. Just make sure to follow the other, recommendations as well with the hand sanitizer, washing the hand, the drill. It is what it is, and that's how this needs to be dealt with. This needs to be dealt with on an individual kind of way, because it's the only way that we can really have an effect. Each of us as an individual. And at the same time, we can't expect people's lives to be absolutely ruined, and not just people's lives, but a nation's life to be absolutely ruined because of this. We've got to find, ways to adapt in the businesses in which it would be a little harder to continue on as normal. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's just absolute crap. With these businesses, there's a lot of businesses that have went under, and there's absolutely no reason why that business could not have continued on. Just because they were non-essential. There were simple basic things that if the individuals that worked at that business and the business owner and whatnot were concerned, simple things, social distancing, masks, stuff like that. That way people still are able to make a living, provide for their families, and not go under. I mean, we now, speaking towards the financial part of this big mess, not only do we have a lot of the businesses going under, but, people work for those businesses and now they're under. So when I talk about a financial crisis, you have to understand this is from the very, very bottom all the way up. Well, not quite all the way up, but you know what I mean. It's all the way from us peasants all the way up to, the smaller end of the large size businesses, okay? the smaller end of the large-sized businesses. So, man, this is not good. This is not good. Because you're talking about a complete failure through everybody from the impoverished all the way up to the lower end of, I would say the lower end of what I would consider wealthy, right? I think it goes beyond middle class. I really do. I think what's happening goes beyond middle class just by a smidge. Just by a smidge. Now, you think about that. And you think about all those people in those financial classes that just got bumped down to nothing, essentially. That's a lot of people. And you know that those in control aren't going to do the right thing. We are not in a good position. And that's why I keep continuing to say, get ready. Food is still cheap. Food is still cheap. Make sure you have food. You know, make sure you have the important items. Stuff for water filtration, stuff that you can get that right now. But who knows how much longer? But I'm telling you, there's no way that, okay, here's the thing. There's a lot of people in this nation alone that are not going to be cool with a great reset. Okay? Or really, to be honest, much of any kind of change with our current economic system, because that, as Americans, we don't like change. And so, you know, metric system, anybody? So the thing is, you're already going to have a lot of unrest and issues from we the people when it comes to doing anything to manipulate the currency system that we know of today. No less make it a global one. But something's going to have to give. Because we could even take this all the way up to the top for the most part and say, well, us peasants owe and our government owes. Which we all know that's a big sham with the global banking empire. You know, that government works with the global banks, right? So that the global banks loan the government's money, and then guess who pays that money? Guess whose labor pays that money? You got it. So, really, when people want to talk about slavery, largely, the entire globe are slaves. In fact, I would dare say that the only ones that aren't slaves are those countries that are not involved in the global banking empire. Interesting, huh? Yeah. Your government takes out loans from international banks and puts you on the hook to repay it. Is that not slavery? In fact, I would say that even goes like beyond slavery. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Remember that when you go and vote. Remember what you're voting for. Remember what you're voting for. Because in my opinion, it doesn't matter whether you vote red or blue. It's still screw you. Plain and simple. Ain't none of them trying to fix this mess. Not even Trump. You know damn well the things I just said are truth. Has Trump come out and told you the truth about our financial situation? The truth, not his bullshit that, oh, we're doing super. No, the truth. Don't give me no bullshit that we're doing super when I can come here right now and I can go do. Do not tell me that we're doing super when we're looking at this crap. That is not super. It's ridiculous. So, you can listen to the lies if you want, but the truth is staring you in the face. And guess who is the indentured servants that is paying this? And you vote for it. You vote. Oh, no, I don't vote for that. Yes, you do. You registered to vote, and you went in and voted, so you said that you're okay. You consent. That's the thing I don't understand about why people vote. If you don't consent to what's going on in your government, you are not supposed to vote. Pay attention to your forefathers. Because they're the ones that said that. But I should digress. Because sometimes, one way or another, you get there. And we may be about there. We may be about there. I don't know what the national government has planned for us. I don't know what the global government has planned for us. But I do know, at least, that the American people aren't going to be hip with it. Now, we're slacking, we're behind the curve, because of course in many nations across the world, they've already well been proven for years they're not hip with it. We're just starting. So, I think though it's going to happen quickly. I think it's going to accelerate very rapidly here in the United States. Of course, we saw what just happened recently at the Oregon State Capitol. And I think you're going to see events like that continue to unfold and increase in frequency and severity. That's some pretty bold stuff when you just open up a can of bear spray on a bunch of cops. That's, that's pretty crazy. You think about it. You didn't hear about the left using bear spray? Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure they probably did here or there, but, it would be here or there. And you realize how many people at all those protests with the left? A lot of people. Come on, you got to admit that. A lot of people at a lot of those protests on the left. There wasn't nearly those kind of numbers at the Oregon State Capitol, and that still went on. So, but it's a given, right? It's a given, because let's be real about this. The right, if we want to label, I hate it, but they're a little more in tune with the Constitution, and they understand it a little bit more, the reasoning behind it a little bit more. And so that in itself makes it more of a force to be reckoned with, both figuratively and literally. So just keep an eye out, because like I say, you're going to see an increase in it, and it's going to be an increase in frequency, severity, all of it, because we're going to see this stuff continue to happen. We're going to continue to see lockdowns. We're, in fact, at an alarming rate, I fear, once Biden takes office. So we're going to continue to see this. We're going to continue to see the destruction of small, medium, and the smaller, large businesses, if you know what I mean. We're going to continue to see this. And of course, we're going to continue to see unrest, because desperate people will do what they have to do. That's the way it is. And these times are getting desperate for a lot of people. I do. I think about it a lot, and I pray on it a lot. You know? A lot of bad positions right now because of all of this. You know, and I'm not interested in blaming and pointing fingers and all, you know what? I'm interested in figuring out a way to help the people. Screw all this blame, point finger crap. Blaming and pointing fingers doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't even help the person blaming and pointing fingers. Solutions. And there's got to be solutions, but it's going to have to take work. And when I say that, I'm not talking about from us. We're going to need these sumbitches in government to actually truly get off their asses and support the American people, not their nonsensical bullshit corporation holding up. But I don't think that we're going to get there via conventional means, because it's just way too corrupt. So, is it time? Well, I don't know. I don't make that decision. I can give you my opinion. If all this keeps up, most certainly. Most certainly. I don't think the American people are going to put up with much more. I really don't. I really don't. You know, there's so much to it. You know, you've got so many people. Let me go ahead and get that deck clock off of there. You got so many people that are in bad shape right now because of, you know, all the different situations going on. And then you've got even Dr. Birx flouting the guidelines that even they set forth, right? I mean, you know that I'm a very strong proponent of leading by example. Where is it? Where is the leading by example? I don't see it anywhere whatsoever. And then how are you going to tell a nation of people to take this seriously, when at least by all appearances, these people don't themselves? You know? And there's so many political games going on. So many people scratching each other's back. That the American people will never know the truth. And another thing's for damn sure, the American people will never get back what they lost. It's a shame. Truly a shame. Let me go ahead and we'll run through the normal stuff real quick, and we'll go from there. We'll do the headlines. Quite a few headlines. I believe I saw number 84 when I clicked onto the Brave browser to do the show. So, meaning roughly 84 headlines since I did the show yesterday. So, it's still up there. That's a fair amount of headlines in a 24-hour time period. Now, like I say, I kind of gauge it, and it's definitely up there, and it seems to be accelerating. So, we'll see. Lots of stuff coming to fruition, as well as the new year, you know? I don't know. I personally think it'd be nice, maybe, I hope it'd be nice to see 2021. I hope. Man, 2020's been ate up. Absolutely ate up. Now, for us, mostly, it hasn't been too bad. But, you know, the world as a whole in general, man, it's been screwed up. Not just COVID, just an incredible amount of things. So, all right, let me run through the normal stuff, and we will go from there. Amazon affiliate, we are up to $40.25. So thank you very much, and I do believe that's all items shipped at this point. So awesome, thank you. That is incredible. For those that don't know, we're an Amazon affiliate. We've got a link in the description of the videos, as well as at thewatchmannews.com right here in the top right. If you click that link, it just takes you to Amazon, but it does so with our special link. And when you make a purchase, those items don't cost you anything more, but it gives us a little commission, throws a little bit our way for the sale. All those little bits add up at the end of the month, as you see, and it's a nice little way to help support the show, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So just click the link, do your shopping, and we highly appreciate it. So we also have a Teespring store. The best way to see what we have there is go to thewatchmannews.com. Scroll down on the home page. We've got 4 different designs currently. You see something you like, it's more than just t-shirts. There's tote bags, coffee mugs, all kinds of stuff. So click on the design. That'll take you to Teespring, where you'll see all the other products with that design, and you can make your purchase there. Lastly, we have a PayPal donate link. That's in the description of the videos, as well as at thewatchmannews.com right there. Once you click that, it takes you to our PayPal donation page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can use a debit or a credit card as a guest. But I always let people know it says Transforming Disabilities up top. It also says Purpose, the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. Huh. Oh, and by the way, my coughing is pretty well non-existent at this point. Interesting, eh? I knew what it was. We knew what it was. We knew what it was. Now I just sit there and clear my throat, right? Let's see. Let me close that. I already talked about this. Again, it was close to 6,000 earlier before it reset. We'll see what it says tomorrow. Who knows? The numbers are just, I don't know. I don't get it. Here, our zip code, we're at 1,425. I don't honestly remember what it was yesterday. I didn't write it down. I'm not going to write today's down. I probably won't write tomorrow's down. I don't know when I'll start writing them down again. But it's going to be after I get stuff put away. So. All right. Let me have a drink. Alrighty. Like I say, we've got quite a few headlines. They go all over the place, so let's start, shall we? And I'm sure I'll have a few things to say as we come across them. Health dictatorship this is last night, by the way. French citizens who refuse COVID-19 jab may be banned from public transport under Green Passport Plan. And we've been hearing about stuff like this off and on from many different countries, including here in the U.S. There's been talk about it, so we'll see. And as I said earlier, Biden takes the helm. You can bet on this stuff. You can bet on this stuff. Let's see. Overuse of antibiotics amid COVID-19 crisis could drive surge in untreatable super gonorrhea, health experts warn. You got to say it like, I wish I had an echo button, right? Super gonorrhea. Sorry. I'm easily amused. American teen jailed for selfish and arrogant breach of Cayman Islands. COVID quarantine gets sentence reduced to just 2 months. 3 gendarmes killed, 1 wounded in police operation following domestic violence call in France. And I had to look up the word gendarmes. I kind of thought I figured what it, I figured it out, but I wanted to make sure it was right. It's armed police. So I guess not all French police are armed, so those are the armed ones they call gendarmes, if I pronounce that right. Dominion security director sues Trump campaign and conservative media over false claims of election fraud. Attack on every American. Democrat Senator, I don't know if it's Klobuchar, rips Trump's demand for $2,000 paychecks in stimulus bill, right? And she's not the only one. UK government won't hesitate to change Christmas COVID rules if needed, says minister, as infections soar. I'm kicking myself and I'm sorry. Scotland leader Sturgeon apologizes after maskless photo in pub. Oh, I'd say I'll have to read the rest of it in a second. All right, Swedish firm Klarna irresponsibly encouraged credit use to improve people's mood during lockdown. UK add watchdog rules. Let's see. Water cannon and mounted police deployed against ultra-Orthodox Jews protesting over conscription case in Jerusalem. Countries around the world spent over $13 trillion to combat COVID-19 pandemic, says a report. I just need, I don't know, 5 million. 5 million. Give me 5 million. I'm good. Don't need much. Chinese and Russian fighter aircraft did not enter South Korean airspace, says Beijing. A decade of persecution and unjust suffering. UN Special Rapporteur on torture urges Trump to pardon Assange, along with pretty much the rest of the world. Irate lorry drivers scuffle with police as French-UK border reopens. Indian economy improving after coronavirus downturn. UK minister reasonably optimistic about Brexit deal chances, but serious disagreements remain with the EU. Fargo police seeking axe-wielding man who attacked North Dakota senator's office. And I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah, I totally forgot about this headline. So Oregon's not the only place where people are fed up. British medical journal The Lancet publishes German doctor's report on treatment of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny. Mixed reaction as former UK PM Tony Blair calls for radical change to COVID-19 vax strategy to avoid disaster. Biden will remain tough on China, but will leave room to repair relationship, an economics professor tells Boom Bust. And I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I I don't know if China's in the game or not. It's hard to say. I was back and forth on whether or not Russia was for a long damn time. And now I will tell you without any doubt that Russia is 110% in on the game. But China, I don't know. But that's how I started out saying about Russia, too. Just saying. With less than 7 weeks left before the New START arms treaty expires, Russia once again urges the U.S. to sign an extension. And, up to this point, there's been absolutely no interest in signing anything like that. When Biden takes office, if that's what happens, I have to say it. I don't know what's going to happen. None of us knows what's going to happen. We don't. We know what's supposed to happen, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Come on, let's face it. So, will Biden sign it? Will he? I don't know. He's a war hawk. I don't know. And again, it's all a game. It's all a game. I do believe there are independent things that could start, it could kick off something like thermonuclear warfare. But I think largely, if it would happen, it would be because strings were pulled by those that are truly in control. I'm just saying. A top Chinese airline halts UK flights over highly contagious COVID-19 mutation. Activists hold candlelit vigil outside Uber headquarters for delivery drivers who died during the pandemic. Taiwan reports first local coronavirus case in 8 months. People urged not to panic excessively. Britain blasted by Iranian health minister for 2 months secrecy on a highly contagious mutant strain of COVID-19. Emmanuel Macron shows signs of improvement from COVID-19 after going into isolation, says the administration. He was needing me to read that from the show, I guess, right? Give me just a second, folks. Okay. I see it. Let's see. Blaze destroys closing migrant camp in Bosnia after residents reportedly set fire to former home. German police probe nationwide cyber attack that halted publishing at third largest newspaper group. A vaccine overdose, ? Israeli pharmacist. How do you say a question like that? Vaccine overdose? I'm not going to role play like that. Israeli pharmacist hospitalized after accidentally receiving 4 doses of COVID jab. Get Jen in on this and we could do the scripting like the news shows do. I would have to kick my own ass. Let's see. Exiled Turkish journalist whose paper reported on arms sent to Syria gets 27-year jail term for espionage and aid to terrorism. 90-year-old woman first to get COVID-19 jab in Switzerland. A deal is done, sources say, as UK and EU apparently strike post-Brexit trade accord after 11th hour talks. Berlin police arrest 2 suspects in chain of alleged neo-Nazi attacks. Insurrection Act nullified in latest coronavirus bill? ? Wrong. It was sneaked into legislation back in summer, Twitter discovers. It seems like I remember that. It seems like I was like saying, hey, but yeah. Rather be homeless than take a dime, Lincoln Project anti-Trumper has meltdown over $2,000 stimulus checks idea being praised. This is the other one that's like, no, don't help the people. Don't help the people because your name is Trump. No. It's ridiculous. UK's COVID-19 infection rate rises to between 1.1 and 1.3 as new highly contagious strain takes grip. Turkey hopes to turn new page with U.S. and EU next year, says President Erdogan. COVID-19 testing starts for thousands of hauliers trapped in UK after France shut border over mutant virus strain. I think that's supposed to be haulers, but it is, UK. It might be hauliers. I call them lorry drivers too, so. Explosion of peace. Trump administration attempts to lure Indonesia into recognizing Israel with $2 billion in aid. Authorities employ... Oh, God, this is great. I'm going to have to play you these videos. I've got to do this. Authorities employ wrestlers to enforce mask wearing in public. You've got to see this. Hey, it walks up. And I'll tell you before he does it, because it's kind of hard to catch it. But he smacks people in the head with a steel chair. I'm not kidding you. He smacks people in the head with a steel chair. Watch. Uh-oh. Where'd they go? Oh, this bites. Hang on. Oh, okay, they're loading. They're loading. Here we go.
Cubrebocas, por favor. ¡Cubrebocas, señor! ¡Cubrebocas! 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 ¡Póngase cubrebocas! ¡Estamos de pie! ¡Órale! No entiendo por la cubrebocas. ¡Regálale uno! ¡Ahí está! ¡Póngaselo! ¡Carajo! ¡Póngaselo!
Here's another one.
¡Cubrebocas, por favor! ¡Señor, póngase el cubrebocas! ¡Póngase el cubrebocas! ¡Póngaselo bien! Estamos diciendo desde allá que se lo ponga.
And I want to say there was one more.
¡Póngaselo! Así se lo debe poner. Y todos arriba de la nariz del cubrebocas. ¡Póngaselo!
So, yeah. So there you there you have it. Central Mexico. Professional wrestlers smashing people in the head with steel chairs to protect them from coronavirus. Oh, that concussion's a bitch, though. Oh. Telling you. I don't know why I'm so amused with that. I guess it's the huge disconnect between protecting somebody by smacking them in the head with a steel chair. Moving on. Mueller report linked to Alpha Bank boss says he tried to contact Trump's White House, but team were scared to talk to the Russians. That's okay. I even didn't give a shit anyway. You really, pardon me, you can't make this stuff up. Taxpayer money spent on lizards. We're gonna get insane, right? Rand Paul publishes Festivus report revealing government waste. UK discovers another even more transmissible coronavirus variant, says the health secretary. Never Trump pundit extraordinaire Bill Kristol predicts Trump mega coup on Christmas Eve based on hearsay. So, coming up tomorrow night is the mega coup. Christmas Eve. Well, we'll have to get Space Force involved too, because they're the ones that bring the cool echo. Space. Sorry. No, I'm not. UK government plunges millions more into most draconian COVID-19 measures amid record infection surge and new mutation. Russia stops enrolling volunteers for Sputnik V vaccine trial, has enough to study its efficacy and safety, says the health ministry. Fox Business host duped by animal rights activist masquerading as CEO of food giant Smithfield. Biden picks social justice teacher for education secretary ahead of expectations of Trump's critical race theory ban reversal. Amid election chaos in the U.S., Washington expands sanctions over alleged electoral fraud in Belarus. Again, we're so worried about Belarus. Trump vetoes the National Defense Authorization Act for 2021 and sends it back to Congress. New York Governor Cuomo slammed over model for 6,700 fans to attend Buffalo Bills game amid city's bankrupting businesses. Now, I have another thought on this, folks, because I thought about this for a little bit, and so I don't know how many people would max that out in normal cases, their stadium, but when you knock that number down to 6,700, which is a huge decrease, who gets the tickets and how much? Sounds to me like the rich getting richer, and the only ones that would even remotely be able to afford a ticket would be those in the class of the haves. What's that going to do for division amongst the social economic classes in this country? Especially while so many people are struggling. Yet others can just go out and spend an absorbent amount of money for a ticket to go watch a game. I took a little bit further than even what they said. France sends warplanes to Central African Republic for flyover to prop up president ahead of vote in former colony. Video of Georgia's Senate candidate's dispute with then-wife illustrates U.S. political divide as reactions span the gamut. Former presidential candidate Andrew Yang files paperwork to run for mayor of New York City. Iran's president compares Trump to hanged Saddam and predicts U.S. president may meet the same fate. Yeah, I mean, to make that's kind of bold. And I'm saying, I get this, I get Iran's attitude against the United States. You would have to be absolutely stupid not to get it. Man. Ridiculous. But you got to look at the facts, not what propaganda tells you. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying they're perfect. No country is perfect. No country is perfect. But anyway, that's beginning it. Now, then Trump fires back, and it wasn't due to what he said here, but because of the reasons that will be said, Trump fires back with, if one American is killed, I'll hold you responsible. Trump's friendly health advice to Iran amid Iraq embassy closure rumors. Okay, so it was over something different, but there is definitely an escalation that's really picking up pace and not coming out of nowhere. So, and when I say coming out of nowhere, the United States and Israel just shoved 2 submarines up up Iran's butt. So, it's not that it's coming from nowhere, but you know what I mean. ACLU sues FBI over secretly breaking smartphone encryption. Which, by the way, enough with people saying, use this app or buy an Apple, an iPhone because the encryption or what. Knock it off. They're decrypting that in real time. Baltimore. Oh, it jumped on me. Again, Baltimore office explosion injures 21, many critically, prompting dramatic rescue of workers stranded on high-rise. Papers, please. New York mayor says he'll send police to visit every single traveler from the UK to enforce COVID-19 quarantine. Washington's mayor raises worship of COVID-19 czar to a new level, declaring Christmas Eve to be Dr. Anthony Fauci Day in D.C. We just moved, and I still ain't got a damn brick wall. Not a brick one. I've got one that's just as hard. But, please, no. No. Roger Stone, Manafort, and Jared Kushner's father included in Trump's second wave of pardons. Beijing blasts U.S. as empire of hacking and theft and rebuffs claims that China will exploit Pacific Cable Project for espionage. I believe that is it. So yeah, like I was saying, it is definitely getting sticky. And every direction that you look. And that's why I continue to say, keep prepping, keep getting ready. If you're new to this, do not let it scare you. Right? There are things that you can do that will help dramatically. Dramatically. Here, let me help you out. You ain't got any prepping food? Nothing? Let me help you out. Go to Walmart. Or wherever, get you like a 20-pound bag of rice. Or bigger, if you can. Rice is cheap. Food is cheap. That's the good thing. Right now, food is still cheap, relatively. Get you like a 25 or bigger pound bag of rice. Then, pick you up a case of whatever. But I recommend if budget's an issue, get generic. Like beefaroni or whatever, right? Raviolis, in a can. Pick you up a case of it, or more, if you can, no pun intended. 12, 24, whatever. Right? So here's the thing. You might be thinking, well, what's that going to help? I'm telling you. That rice and a can of, say, beefaroni. Let's say you got beefaroni, you got rice. Let's say you made, I don't know, a cup of rice. Right? You made a cup of rice, you took a can of beefaroni, you mixed it in with the rice. You realize how many people now you can feed off of a cup of rice and 1 can of beefaroni. Alright? So, that's not a whole lot. You're talking a 20-pound bag of rice is under $10. Can't tell you. I mean, there's places you can go to where you can get generic forms of like beefaroni and ravioli and stuff like that. That's like $1 a can. So for a case of that, you're talking $12. And so roughly $22. Let's see. Well, I'm going to say it's definitely going to be enough for one person for a day, right? I would say a little even more. I would think 2 people could probably survive on that. But here's the thing. Don't stop there. We talked about 1 case of, say, beefaroni or ravioli, 25-pound bag of rice. You know what else isn't expensive? Oats. Pancake mix. See where I'm going? So now you've got your breakfast. Now you've got your breakfast. And you didn't have to spend that much more to get them. Do not let this intimidate you if you are new. But you have to get busy now. You have to do the things. But don't let it intimidate you. There are ways to do this. But if you're new to this, food. Because if you ain't got that, you're at the will of whoever it is that does. Food's a big one. Don't think you're going to run out to the woods and become an expert hunter all of a sudden and be able to survive when everybody and their brothers and sisters are out there doing the same. It's not going to work. A lot of people think, oh, I'll go hunting, I'll go fishing. Yeah, so will everybody else. Good luck. Better have a better plan than that. Telling you. Whole lot of people in this country. When all these industries come to a halt, you know, we're not just talking about one industry, we're talking about a bunch. Trucking industry, energy industry, and when I'm talking about energy, I'm mainly talking about fuel. These type of industries come to a halt, guess what? So does a lot of people's chances for survival. Because a whole lot of people depend on going to the store to buy what they need to survive, correct? So you take that away, a whole lot of people desperate, hungry. Not good. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. Fun, fun, fun. I think I might make me a bag of popcorn. Yeah, sounds nice. Anyway, I am out of here. I hope everybody has a great evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do it again. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.